Ladies and gentlemen, a Trump conviction. That means, what I mean to say is a Trump conviction that lasts an appeal is impossible. So they probably won't convict Trump because there's no evidence. There's not even evidence of an actual federal crime because the FEC didn't list a crime, didn't fine Trump, didn't accuse him of any crime. The FEC accused Clinton and President Obama's campaigns of crimes and the DNC. But even if they convict, which is doubtful, it'll be overturned on appeal according to numerous legal scholars. Here's why. I'll just read you a couple of articles. Politico, can Trump run for president from prison? Yes, and it's been done before. Yahoo News, Donald Trump charged, but conviction is no slam dunk. The Hill, could Trump face jail time if convicted? Experts weigh in. He's not going to serve any jail time for this. He won't even be, if there's a conviction, it will not be upheld and it'll be overturned. Number one, Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels both lied to their lawyers, to Congress, to media, denied any affair took place. That's number one. Through written statements as well. Number two, you can't even prove that an affair took place. So the hush money was a response to extortion. If somebody goes to you and says, I am going to go to the press, I'm going to go to media unless you give me $130,000, that's actually a crime. So he can actually go after Stormy on that crime. She already owes him $600,000 in legal fees. Okay? Because she's consistently lost cases to him. A recent case that she lost $122,000. Okay? So the person, the reason that Alvin Bragg and the Manhattan District Attorney even indicted Trump was Stormy Daniels getting hush money payment, but she's been losing court cases to Trump. So they've indicted him because of a human being who continually loses in court to Trump. Think about that for a second. Let that sink in. Then you have blatant politics, this is overtly political. Jim Jordan, James Comer will ask Alvin Bragg to testify before Congress. They're getting a whole bunch of people before the DA of Manhattan. They'll try to also get the Attorney General of New York, both of whom campaigned on getting Trump. Could you imagine if the tables were turned? The problem with wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats is that if the tables were turned, they would never react in the same manner. They get away with so much more than they would allow, okay, with Trump. And so Trump doesn't have private servers siphoning top secret intel. Okay, he would have been convicted. There's no way on the planet that the Honorable James Comey would have said, well, no reasonable prosecutor would indict Trump. The opposite is true. They're going to indict Trump. They're unreasonable, or they're reasonable to the left. Who knows? But everything is subjective when it comes to Democrats, media. Oh, there's credible allegations against Trump. The allegations against Biden are not credible. No reasonable prosecutor would indict Hillary. Apparently we found reasonable, very, very rational and objective prosecutors to indict Trump on misdemeanor charges that were boosted to felonies. They're still trying to find the federal crime to elevate these misdemeanors to felonies. So that should tell you about the indictment, okay? Hit subscribe to this channel right now. By the way, tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, I'll have a live stream at around 9 p.m. Pacific time. So I will have a live stream at 9 p.m. Pacific tomorrow evening, Saturday, April 8th. So be here for the live stream at 9 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Well, when you watch this this evening, Saturday, at 9 p.m. Pacific time. Hit subscribe to my super thanks. Thank you to the Patreon. Thank you so very, very much. My Patreon link is below. Michael Cohen lied. So Michael Cohen and Stormy have consistently stated that it never happened. There were no campaign finance violations. Then you have the issue of Democrats influencing Michael Cohen to flip and sing on Trump, influencing Stormy Daniels to extort money from Trump She waited until October, not because of an NDA. So she was speaking to Piers Morgan. The issue is why she decided. See, here's the thing. She took the money for a reason, because she wanted the money. It's $130,000. Doesn't grow on trees. Okay, so she got an $800,000 book deal from it as well. The question is, who promised her all of these opportunities, let's say? So you can get Stormy Daniels to testify in Congress. Okay? You can issue a demand to the Manhattan DA, Jim Jordan, James Comer could do so for Stormy Daniels, and also Michael Cohen again. If they ask Stormy, or if they ask the Manhattan DA, or anyone involved in this, okay, Michael Avenatti, did you know that he was linked to a Hillary Clinton super PAC? Not many people are talking about that, but that's in the Daily Mail, Politico. It was well known he was running Avenatti 2020. He's now in prison now. But certainly that had to have some influence on Stormy Daniels. The question is, who influenced Stormy to change her mind? How did she just suddenly decide? Because even if you're bound by an NDA, you sign the NDA for a reason, because you want the money. You then extort Trump and then say, I'm going to go to the press if you don't pay me $130,000 for the money. So you took the money, then you said, okay, it never happened. Then you're bound by the NDA, which is your excuse for then changing your tune. I think that it did happen. So they did have the relationship. Michael Cohen took care of it. There was nothing illegal there. And also, it wasn't a campaign finance violation because it was a personal expenditure to ensure that his family or wife didn't find out. Personal embarrassment doesn't count. To prevent a personal embarrassing story doesn't count as a campaign finance violation. On the other hand, Hillary Clinton's campaign, I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee for the Democratic Party. I think it'll be Trump-Hillary 2024. On the other hand, Clinton and the DNC were both fined. Okay? And if I repeat myself, people say like, oh, you repeat yourself. Well, it's good. It's good that I repeat myself because it's really important. Most people aren't bringing up the fact that she waited until October of 2016 to extort money from Trump, yet the FEC didn't find any violation, and they fined both President Obama's campaign $375,000. They fined Hillary and the DNC, I think $100,000 each, something like that. And nobody is asking how, and Jim Jordan and James Comer, if they ask in Congress, how did this all result in Stormy extorting money from Trump, waiting until October of 2016 to extract as much money as possible? So with Piers Morgan, she said, well, I couldn't say anything because of the NDA. Well, why did you want to say anything anyway? You were already paid $130,000. What influenced you, or who influenced you? Was there any Democratic operative, activist, lawyer, public relations executive, consultant, advisor, whatever? Because we know that they were all surrounding Avenatti, her lawyer, for numerous years. So this isn't like rocket science. You have people who are shady characters who lied through their attorneys. Their credibility is already non-existent. And then you have a purely political stunt that completely backfired on Democrats. It's the political equivalent of the Hindenburg. But again, they might indict him in Georgia, and they might indict him for January. They might try to get 10 indictments like they impeached him twice, and every single time they'll fail. Trump is the Obi-Wan Kenobi of politics because the people he's going up against actually commit crimes, like Hunter, Joe, Hillary. Like, that's why they silenced the New York Post. Okay, Trump they say he's an authoritarian. Only the Democrats silence people, want to erase the First and Second Amendment and other amendments. The Fourth Amendment with Mar-a-Lago. Okay, there's always an informant. There's always an anonymous source. It's all of media, loyalists in the government against Trump, but he's the authoritarian. Okay, Anyway, a conviction is impossible because of all the things I mentioned and likely a lot more. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Be here tomorrow at around 9 p.m. for the live stream and early in the morning for an upload.